Hey guys, I want you to listen to this audio clip. It's a call from a gentleman who had a misconception that a lot of people have when they're buying this tool. And it's in the topic of programming. So check this out and let me know if you can relate to this.
Don't have their number, but I think even on your box there should be a number where you can call for support. What I do is I sell the tool, but I specialize in the support to the clients I sell to.
Oh, okay.
Well, see?
You
yeah.
Just tell me where to go to the programming, because I can't find it.
No, you're not gonna find it on there. You need a laptop. You need to buy a day subscription. It's not on the tool. You're gonna need. You have to do programming, and that's a whole nother ballgame that doesn't even involve your scanner. That's all I can tell you. I can't give you any more information.
I mean, I got the J-box. They're supposed to do programming.
Yeah, but you're doing it wrong, then. You don't use the scanner when you're doing programming.
Okay, so you don't use the scanner.
No.
So I bought the scanner thinking that the scanner is the one that does the programming, which I should have just bought the J-box then.
So this is something that I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. They'll do their research and you'll see that you can do programming on it, and when you get the tool you can't find that option on there. And the reason is you can't do programming from the tablet. It's a whole nother ball game. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm not only going to share with you what you need and let's say the time frame it's going to take to do programming. You're going to see how that is. But I'm also going to give you the opportunity to allow me to consult you step by step from start to finish so you can learn how to do programming, because you'll see it's a huge problem. So let's jump into this, guys. I'm going to share with you information on ECU programming with your J2534. All right. For those of you who don't know, my name is Curtis Harden, and I am an Autel Diagnostic Consultant. So what I do is I listen and ask questions to understand my client, and then from there I will align them with a tool that's congruent to the problem that they're trying to solve. And then from there, I render the client support. So I help them with the technical, software, hardware issues and give them the training on how to use their J2534. All right, because as you'll see, one of the biggest problems in our industry is, people get this device and it's just sitting there doing nothing. They're using it as a coffee table. So anybody in the auto repair industry, auto body collision industry, mobile mechanics, you're going to start to get events where programming is needed to fix certain situations. All right. And the problem is, there's actually many problems. I don't have enough time to share with you, but many people will go online, do their research, and you'll see that it can do programming. So when they buy the tool, they're looking for this option, and they don't realize that you can't do programming from the tablet. Okay, on like 98% of the vehicles, you cannot do programming from the tablet. You can only do it for BMW and Mercedes. The other problem is, as I said, there's many places where you can buy the tool, but the individual selling the tool never done a programming procedure in their life. So what happens is you get this tool, you're paying extra for it because the updates are expensive, and you're not utilizing it. All right, so you're actually put yourself in a financial hole. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the difference between coding and programming, and that way you can kind of understand the terminology a bit better. All right, so coding is when you are able to configure components or sensors directly from the scanner. Write a VIN number, to do adaptations, to do relearns, to do key coding. All that is in the umbrella of coding. Okay, And programming is when you have a blank control module. Let's say you were in an accident and the airbag control module is faulty. When you buy a new one, there's no software on there. So you need to access those calibration files from the manufacturer to inject in that airbag control module. That's programming. So coding is what you can do on the tablet in terms of configuring those components to work, together. And programming is when you're injecting software from the manufacturer into a blank module. All right, and there's different standards of let's say J2534 protocols. There's a -1, which will allow you to perform programming on ECU emissions related modules, and then the -2 is just an extension of that. So the OEMs will allow you to do more programming on different modules and stuff like that. All right, so 1 and 2 kind of work together, and -3 is what they call a test protocol. So what the OEMs will do is they'll do testing, and then there's actually a -4. So when the -3 has been, I guess, tests have been validated, they're going to put that onto the -4. All right. So this is something to consider. Like, let's say if you guys have a diagnostic tool already, and you want to invest in a dedicated J2534, you just need to make sure if they're -1 and -2 compliant. All right. So just something that you guys should know. Now, this is what you need when you're doing programming. You can literally take this. Okay, you can put it in the box because you're not going to need it. All right. So first thing we need is a Windows 10 laptop. Now, some manufacturers require, they're moving on from Windows 7 to Windows 10, but you need a laptop. Okay, it doesn't need to be an expensive one. The OEMs do have a system minimum requirement, but that's step number 1. Number 2, you need a J2534 and a battery maintainer. Now the J2534s, you can actually buy separately. You can buy a dedicated J2534. All right, you don't need to buy the whole Autel machine. All right, then the battery maintainer, it will give the battery a stabilized voltage. So when you're doing programming, the OEMs have a minimum requirement of what the voltage should be. Now, if you're using like a battery charger or a booster, that voltage is going like this. So when you're programming, if it drops too low, you're going to brick the module. So by having a battery maintainer, you can set what voltage that it needs to be, and it will stay that way, so you won't screw up bricking your ECU. Then you need access to service and repair information. Now, the reason why this is important because service and repair information will tell you when a programming event is needed. So I'll give you an example. There was a time where Ford had a recall on their Ford Fiestas. The problem was the transmission control module. When there was something wrong with it, they didn't install a software that would tell the mechanic an error code on what that transmission control module fault is. They would have to manually see what it is. So they recalled those vehicles, and then they basically said, okay, let's do a flash update or a programming update to input that error code. So the next time people do have a transmission control module, they can scan it and that will come up. All right. So service information will tell you not only when a programming event is needed, but it will tell you a follow-up procedure on how to, let's say, do the coding necessary to get that thing to work properly. Because sometimes programming isn't the final step. You need to program it, then you need a tool to relearn it. Okay, and then you obviously need the OEM subscription. Now, the subscription I'll cover a little bit later on the different plans and stuff, but once you buy the subscription, then they're going to give you access to download their software on the Windows 10 laptop. Okay, And then lastly, you need a capable scan tool. So that's very important. For those of you who are doing your research, it's important that you buy a capable scan tool. Just buy one of the Autel products. You'll be just fine. But call me first, okay? So that's the fundamentals. Now, this is the challenge for, like, I would say 95% of the people who buy our tools, okay, when they want to do programming. So first is getting the right equipment, all right? A lot of people, if nobody teaches you this, you're not going to know that you need a battery maintainer. There's a lot of little things that you need as I presented to you that you don't know. And then finding access to all the OEM sites. You know, people don't tell you where those sites are. And that could, you know, you can't get that time back looking for it. Then they don't tell you that you have to prep your computer, meaning, you know, when you buy a computer, it comes with, like, you know, virus scanners and all this other bull crap. So basically, the OEM software doesn't work with those, and you have to uninstall a firewall. There's a lot of prep you need to do before you install their software. And then, speaking of software, installing their software is a pain in the you-know-what. Even for me, there's been programming events where I had to install, like, Volvo. It took me hours. It took me hours to do this, and this is something that I specialize in. So just imagine people who don't have a computer background, they're going to struggle on this. And then the last is over-the-shoulder support. So believe it or not, the manufacturers, some of them will give you maybe generic phone support, but let's say if you're having troubles installing their software, they're not going to log into your computer and show you how it's done. Okay, in fact, there's been times where they just tell you, we won't help you because you're not a dealer or something like that. So this is why a lot of people who own the Autel J2534, they're not utilizing it. You know, a lot of guys who work from home, I noticed too, they'll buy this on Amazon or eBay used, and they don't realize that when their subscription runs out, they're going to be paying for this, but they're not even utilizing it. So this is the challenges. It's a huge pain point. I wanted to show you a simple screenshot. This is me walking one of my clients through a programming event, and I recorded it. So we're doing a Ford installation and PCM programming, a VIN number, and it was about 51 minutes. All right, and this is with the consultant. All right, so you can see it's not that the pain point is there. It's huge. It's not something that people want to dive into. You guys are, you know, trying to get the cars in and out. You don't have time to be fiddling around with, like, this type of stuff if you don't know what you're doing. All right. So with that, there's an opportunity, and this is what you can charge. All right, and this varies between regions. So the cost of a subscription is on average $50. Let's just put it on average, all right? And what you can do after you do the programming procedure, you can charge them between, on the low end, $120, the medium end, $150, and the high end, $300. Now, for you to determine your pricing, you can, you know, call the dealer, see how much they charge, and even if in some areas the dealers charge a very low rate, but the pain point in sending your car there and waiting for it to get scheduled for programming and stuff like that, that could be a pain point for some people. Like if you're an auto collision shop, they don't want to do that. They'd rather have somebody go there, do the programming there. You know, you can leave comfortably, not worrying about your car is going to take long and stuff like that. So this is something that you can sell to your clients who you're going to do programming on. Okay, and just to give you an idea of some of these subscription plans, typically they all have 3 plans. Now, we're going to dive into Ford. So Ford, they have a 2-day subscription, which most of my clients get because it's cheap and you can do programming as much as you want for those 2 days. All right. The second thing is the monthly subscription. All right. So for 30 days, it's $150 for a monthly subscription. And then if you want the whole year, it's $849. Okay. Now, some manufacturers like Nissan are a little bit different. They want you to pay $279 for their subscription, and then once they'll give you a year access, and then they charge, I think, $20 per calibration file. Okay. Some of your high-end manufacturers, you know, they have a similar model where the price to get their software is like a year commitment. I think VW and Audi, they want a year commitment, and they have like an application process. The easy ones that I find quite user-friendly are, you know, the American ones, Ford, GM, Honda, Toyota. I find pretty easy, but when you're getting on the European side, it's a bit more tricky. All right, so this is just a general understanding on what subscription plans you can get. So what I tell people, just start off with the 2-day. All right, now some of you are at a point where you can take this information and you could do it yourself. All right, if you have the time and resources to do that, that's something you could do. The other option is I can show you how to do it with my over-the-shoulder training. So this is what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to prepare your laptop. All right, I'm going to show you which laptop you need. Then I'm going to deactivate any firewalls, any virus scanners, any other software that may interfere with the OEM interface. All right, that's the first step. The second step, I'm going to install their software. More importantly, I'm going to give you a special program that's going to memorize all your passwords safely. So what some of you don't realize is it's never good to save your passwords in your browser. And what happens is people who, I guess, hack your computer, if they get your Gmail credentials, they can access all your sensitive information from your browser. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a software that is going to memorize all your passwords, so you don't have to write it on a piece of paper or anything when you sign up for different sites. But then when you go to the website, all right, it's going to log you in automatically. So that way you don't have to memorize anything, all right? And you can apply this with each and every OEM programming event when you go to their webpage, all right? So then after that, I'm going to install any drivers, Java, whatever they need. I'm going to do all that nerdy stuff for you guys. Then I'm going to mentor you. We're going to, get a vehicle when you're ready to do a programming event, and I'm going to walk you through it step by step. So, I'm going to say, hey, turn on the ignition, put your battery maintainer on. This is where you go to check if there is a calibration file for the vehicle you're working on. And, that way you'll get straight to the point. You won't be experimenting with anything, all right? And lastly, you'll be able to prosper. So with these basics, you can take this and you kind of know where to look for on other OEM sites, okay? Because the process is kind of the same. It's just they may have a different way of getting there, but you'll at least know where to look for, all right? And that's my goal, is to basically pimp you guys out, basically. All right? So for those of you, are, I guess, skeptical and stuff, here's just a few of my recordings, live recordings that you can listen to, and just you can hear the joy in these guys' voice when that problem's fixed.
Yeah. What? Got it? Okay, good. Yeah, it worked. Yeah, I'm surprised I did that without looking at your tablet. I knew a lot of these been writing procedures a lot in the key coding, so that's why I was able to kind of navigate you through it. Yes, it's really amazing because this is my friend and I. We both went all over it. We found that pulling this password out, but these functions that you just told me, it was not there. I don't know how this happened. Maybe it was, but anyway, that was very nice. Thank you very much. You made me and my neighbor happy. It's great. Okay. Good, man. I appreciate.
And here's another one.
All you would need to do is go to replace and reprogram, and then it will let you carry on the procedure. And that's what I did. I instead of clicking reprogram ECU, I put replace and reprogram. And he explained why. I couldn't understand, but it let me carry out through the procedure, and then I went ahead and I programmed it.
Okay.
So I did it.
All programmed?
Yeah, I did it already. I did it already. Like it's.
So my theory should start now, right?
Yeah, yeah. You can try it.
There it goes. All right.
Is that good?
We're good then.
Okay,
yep.
cool.
Thank
cool.
you.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
All right, so those are just a sample of me doing what I do, and this is my offer. Okay, so for those of you who are already my clients that purchase the tool through me, I only charge $100 per manufacturer installation. So like if you hire me for, Ford, you pay $100. I will do unlimited lifetime training for that manufacturer. If you go on to GM, it's $100, and they'll give you lifetime support on when you're doing a programming event. All right. So if you are at the stage where you don't own a tool and you want to, have this option available, I recommend buying the tool from me, and then I'll just charge $100 per installation. Because to be honest with you guys, you're not going to be programming on all manufacturers. Like some of you don't get European. There's probably going to be maybe 3 or 4 at most on your PC. All right. The second is the general public. So people who purchase their tool from a different supplier that want the training, it's $200 per OEM. You get 1 OEM installation, so that's the one you hired me on, and 3 follow-up programming consultations. So after the installation, all right, and I walk you through on how to do it and stuff. When you get a programming event, you can call me, and then I'll walk with you through it 3 times. So then let's say next month you get another one, and then after that you get the last one. Okay, and then if you want to hire me for a different one, it's the same process, same price. Okay, if you're not one of my clients already. Now, for those of you who let's say know that you're going to be doing a lot more programming events, and you need all the software installed, and you want to have me represent you and basically take you on as my client, as if you bought the tool from me, it's a $600 per year subscription. So for $600, I'll give you that one-on-one technical support, with me. I'll give you unlimited programming installations and consultations on any manufacturers. Okay, you'll get access to the 1 month of training library videos. I'll set up your email on your tablet. I'll set up your printer, okay, which is a huge problem. Any software glitches you'll have. So if you're trying to do a programming event and there's a situation where an error is going up that's not going through, I'll help you with that. Any hardware issues, when your tool's battery will die, I'll handle that. When your screen gets damaged, if it doesn't work properly, I'll handle that. I'll basically take you on as a client. Okay, so these are for people who already have the tool but they're not satisfied with the let's say present representation that they're getting from their person they purchased it from. Okay, and what I can tell you is most of my clients actually don't need me after the first year. Okay, basically with the principles that I teach them, they're able to then, after the first maybe 6 months, they can move on confidently on to whatever, manufacturer they want to do. So those are your options, guys. And yeah, what I want you to do, I'm actually going to share with you how to sign up. All right, so there's going to be a link in the description where you can click. From here, enter in your first and last name, enter your number, put in your email address, and then where it says tell me about yourself, I want to know what your operation is like. If you have a collision repair shop, if you work from home, and tell me about your experience and what problems you're having. The more information you give me about yourself, the better I can see if I'll be a good match for you. All right. Then tell me what current tools you have. If you don't have any, you can leave this blank. And then most importantly, just click the J2534 Training and Consultation Services. All right. Then click Submit. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to get an email that will indicate that you have applied, and then I'm going to call you and schedule a consultation just to answer any further questions. And then from there, if you would like to proceed, I'll give you the PayPal link to make the purchase, and then I'll be able to consult you step by step. All right. So I'm going to bring you back to the slide here. All right. So this is the pricing. What I recommend you guys do, if you're serious, is to sign up, due to the fact that I'm only going to allow 200 people to consult. All right, this is actually going to push some of my current clientele that I'm representing. I'm going to actually slow that down to focus on teaching people how to use this. I find this is a bigger problem. All right, once the 200 limit is reached, I'm actually going to either raise my price or do another programming course on a different manufacturer. For right now, to start off, I'm only going to be working with people who want to work on Fords and program Fords. All right. If you want to program Fords, this is a time to sign up, because some consultations I'm going to do individually. Some I'm going to do in a group, like a small group, just to see how a programming event is done. And this way I can make sure everybody's growing at a progressive pace. All right. Once this is reached, as I said, my price is either going to go up or I'm going to go to a different manufacturer. All right. So I don't know a lot of people who actually is doing this in terms of teaching you step by step. And then if you think about it, you guys are probably paying this much, sending the card to someone to do this yourself. So, why don't you just get the knowledge? I'll pave that path for you so you won't screw up anything. And then that way you can keep your work operations in-house. And I always tell people, the more problems you're able to solve, the more money you can make. And programming is such a great skill set, because nobody knows how to do it. And you'll see, the pain point in doing it. If you can do this, and if I can help you do this, it's just going to benefit you. Okay? So with that, guys, I'm going to end this presentation. Thanks so much for your support, and I look forward to hearing from you. Take care, guys. Subscribe and like the channel, and I hope to talk to you soon. Cheers. Bye.